Hi guys, do try this next question from Cat23, the third slot. Please pause the video and you can resume it for the solution. Alright, so the question says, a boat takes 2 hours to travel downstream a river from port A to port B and 3 hours to return to port A. So that means A to B is the downstream journey and B to A is upstream. Another boat takes a total of 6 hours to travel from port B to port A and return to port B. If the speeds of the boats and the river are constant, then the time in hours taken by the slower boat to travel from port A to port B is. Okay, so slightly lengthy question because it's a typical Cat23 style question because it's algebra under the guise of arithmetic. So let's see. The first thing to do is we have the first boat which takes 2 hours for the downstream journey and 3 hours for the upstream journey, and the second boat takes total 6 hours for the entire journey. So let's start by taking the distance as the LCM of these three numbers. 2, 3 and 6, the least common multiple will be 6. So let me suppose the distance is basically 6 kilometers. I'm assuming the speed of the first boat as let's say A and the speed of the river as let's say R. Both are in kilometers per hour. As per the first condition, the first boat takes 2 hours to travel downstream. So we know that whenever a boat travels downstream, the speeds of the boat and the river get added. So the speed will be A plus R, and speed is distance upon time. So 6 kilometers distance, 2 hours time. The speed is distance upon time. 6 upon 2, that will be equal to 3. So from the downstream journey, we get the equation A plus R is equal to 3. Similarly, if the boat travels upstream, the effective speed will be A minus R, and speed is also distance 6 upon the time 3 hours, and that will be equal to 2. So upstream speed of the boat is 2 kilometers per hour. So we get the equation A minus R is 2. Okay, next thing, we just add these two equations. When we add these two equations, we'll get A plus A, that is 2A, and R minus R becomes 0, will be equal to 3 plus 2, that is 5. If 2A is 5, we'll get A as 2.5. Putting in A as 2.5 in any of these two equations, I get the value of R. R will be equal to 0.5. Now at this point of time, you can just keep the values as they are. You can take A as 2.5, which is not required in the question anymore. But yeah, we want R as 0.5. So speed of the river is 0.5 kilometers per hour, and this is exactly what we are going to need in the upcoming part of the question. So we'll retain this value, or we'll write towards the side the value of R, or speed of the boat, is 0.5 kilometers per hour. Hi, don't forget to check out my course for the Quant section of the CAT exam, where I've explained all concepts, tips and tricks, shortcuts and past year questions in great detail. The second boat, let its speed be equal to x kilometers per hour. It takes 6 hours to travel from port B to port A and return. Now, if the boat starts from port B to A and returns to port B, it first travels upstream, and the upstream speed will be x minus 0.5. 0.5 being the speed of the stream, and the distance traveled will be 6 kilometers. So the time taken for the upstream journey will be distance 6 upon the speed x minus 0.5. Same way, when the boat travels from A to B, it will go downstream while returning. The distance will be 6 only, but the speed will be x plus 0.5, the downstream speed of the boat. So times taken for the upstream journey is this. So this is your upstream time and this is your downstream time. The sum of these two should be equal to 6 hours. We just need to cancel out 6 throughout and take the LCM, multiply throughout by x minus 0.5 into x plus 0.5. We'll get x plus 0.5 plus x minus 0.5 is equal to x plus 0.5 multiplied by x minus 0.5. Okay, we have multiplied throughout by the LCM, x minus 0.5 into x plus 0.5, and that's what we are going to get. So 0.5 gets cancelled. On the left hand side, I get 2x is equal to, on the right hand side, I get a plus b into a minus b, a square minus b square. Now, henceforth, many people try to make a quadratic and solve the question. I have a slightly different approach. I use algebraic equations instead. So the 0.5 square is 0.25. I can take on the left hand side is equal to 2x. I can take on the right hand side. I'll get x square minus 2x. Okay. And the next step is I will just add 1 to both sides. Now, once I do that, the left hand side will become 1.25. 1.25 is basically 5 by 4 in fractions is equal to, the right hand side is x square minus 2 into x into 1 plus 1 square, right? This is x minus 1 the whole square. So now I can say x minus 1 can be plus or minus root 5 by 2. And this further gives me two possibilities for x. X will be either 1 plus root 5 upon 2 or x will be 1 minus the root 5 divided by 2. Now root 5 is approximately 2.23. Upon 2 will be 1.11 again. 1 minus 1.11 will be negative, but speed can never be negative. So this part can be ruled out. The speed of the second boat is simply 1 plus root 5 upon 2. So we already knew the speed of the stream is 0.5 kilometers per hour and speed of the boat X is 1 plus root 5 divided by 2. So finally, what is the time taken by the boat, the slower boat, to travel from port A to port B? So now in this case, if the boat travels from A to B, it is traveling downstream. Its speed will be X plus R. That will be 1 plus root 5 by 2 plus 1 by 2. 1 plus 1 by 2 is basically 1.5 or 3 by 2. So speed of the boat while going downstream will be root 5 plus 3 upon 2, right? Because 1 and 1 by 2 will combinedly become 3 by 2. So root 5 by 2 plus 3 by 2 can be written as root 5 plus 3 upon 2. That's your speed and the distance is worth 6 kilometers. The time will be distance upon the speed. So 6 divided by root 5 plus 3 upon 2, right? So upon 2 I can take it upwards. I will get 12 divided by root 5 plus 3 or 3 plus root 5. Now, unfortunately, this does not match with any of the options. We have a red herring option though, where the 12 is visible. So many people may get confused and mark B as the answer. But the next step is what makes all the difference. We rationalize this given number, right? So we multiply above and below by 3 minus root 5. So we are going to get 12 into 3 minus root 5 divided by, again, a plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. Okay. So 12 into 3 minus root 5 will be as it is. Divide by, below we will have 3 square 9 minus root 5 square is 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. 4 and 4 will get cancelled. I finally have my answer as 3 into 3 minus root 5. This is very clearly the A option, right? And that's the answer to our question, option A. Right? There are many other methods where people make quadratic equations. Some other methods where we can eliminate two options, but then again we have to deal with two options anyway. So I prefer the best way is to solve the question and get the answer like this. It's a slightly difficult question on the difficult side. The answer is option A, 3 into 3 minus root 5.